The mahogany conference table reflected the harsh fluorescent lights as Ethan Martinez stared at the contract before him. His father's pharmaceutical empire was about to merge with Chen Industries, and the price of keeping their family legacy intact was sitting across from him in the form of an empty chair. Where is she? Ethan's father, Roberto Martinez, checked his Rolex for the third time. Mr. Chen adjusted his glasses nervously. Sophia is... She's stuck in traffic. The presentation at the hospital ran over. Ethan had heard about Sophia Chen, brilliant cardiothoracic surgeon, graduated top of her class from Harvard Medical, completely dedicated to her career. Just like him, she was being forced into this arrangement to secure their family's business interests. This is ridiculous, Ethan muttered, loosening his tie. We're arranging marriages like it's the 1800s. It's temporary, his father said firmly. 3 years, just long enough to satisfy the board's concerns about family unity in the merger. Then you can both go your separate ways. The conference room door burst open and a woman in blue scrubs rushed in, her long black hair escaping from a messy bun. I'm so sorry, emergency surgery ran late, and then the subway. She stopped mid-sentence, her eyes meeting Ethan's for the first time. For a moment, the room fell silent. Sophia had expected a stuffy businessman, but the man rising from his chair had kind brown eyes and a genuinely apologetic expression. Dr. Chen, I presume? Ethan extended his hand. I'm Ethan Martinez. Sorry about the circumstances. Sophia shook his hand, surprised by his warmth. Please, call me Sophia, and I should be the one apologizing for being late. Don't worry about it, Ethan said, pulling out her chair. Saving lives takes precedence over paperwork. As they sat down to sign the contracts that would bind them in marriage for 3 years, both felt an unexpected flutter of something. Neither was ready to name it yet. 6 months later, Ethan paced his downtown loft, phone pressed to his ear. What do you mean the flight's delayed again? Weather in Chicago, sir, the airline representative said. We're looking at a possible cancellation. He hung up and immediately dialed Sophia's number. It went straight to voicemail, again. Hey, it's me. The Chicago trip fell through, which means I'll actually be in town for your birthday dinner tonight. I know we've missed each other the past few attempts, but maybe third time's the charm? Call me back. Meanwhile, across town in Sophia's apartment, her phone buzzed on the kitchen counter as she rushed to pack her overnight bag. The hospital had called her in for an emergency consultation in Boston. Her roommate and best friend, Maya, watched her throw clothes into a suitcase. You're going to miss your own birthday dinner. Again? It's not really my birthday dinner, Sophia protested. It's just part of the arrangement, business. Right, Maya said skeptically. That's why you've changed outfits 3 times and spent an hour on your hair. Sophia paused, catching sight of herself in the mirror. Maya was right. She had dressed carefully, choosing the blue dress Ethan had complimented in their brief encounter at a charity gala last month. He probably won't even show, Sophia said, but there was disappointment in her voice. There's only one way to find out. Sophia's phone rang. The hospital. She answered immediately. Dr. Chen? Yes, I can be there in 3 hours. No, I understand. It can't wait. She hung up and looked at Maya apologetically. Duty calls. That evening, Ethan sat alone in the upscale restaurant they'd chosen, checking his watch. The waiter approached for the 3rd time. Will the lady be joining you tonight, sir? Ethan sighed, pulling out his credit card. No, I don't think she will. As he walked home through the city streets, his phone buzzed with a text from Sophia. Emergency surgery in Boston. So sorry to miss dinner. Rain check? He typed back. Of course. Hope everything goes well. Happy birthday, Sophia. 3 blocks away, Sophia sat in the back of a taxi heading to the airport, staring at his message. For a marriage of convenience, his words felt surprisingly genuine. I don't understand why I keep coming here, Sophia muttered to herself, as she stood in line at the Grind, a small coffee shop near the hospital. She'd discovered it 3 months ago and had become a regular, always ordering the same thing. Large coffee, 2 sugars, splash of cream. Because their coffee doesn't taste like motor oil, said a voice behind her. She turned to find a man about her age with warm brown eyes and a laptop bag slung over his shoulder. He looked familiar, but she couldn't place him. Do I know you? She asked. I don't think so, he said with a smile. I'm Alex. I work in the building across the street. Emma, she replied automatically, using the nickname only her closest friends called her. Something about the anonymity felt freeing. Emma, he repeated. Let me guess. Large coffee, 2 sugars, splash of cream? How did you... I've been behind you in line a few times. I'm observant like that. Alex grinned. It's either a sign of a well-ordered mind or complete lack of imagination. Sophia laughed. Actually laughed. For the first time in weeks. I prefer to think of it as consistency. Large coffee, 2 sugars, splash of cream, the barista called out. That's me, Sophia said, stepping forward. And 1 black coffee, extra shot, Alex added, moving beside her. As they waited for his order, Sophia found herself lingering. So what do you do across the street? Marketing consultant. Boring stuff, really. You? I'm a doctor. Also boring, but in a different way. I doubt that, Alex said, accepting his coffee. Doctors save lives. Marketing consultants make people want things they don't need. Their conversation flowed naturally, and before Sophia knew it, 30 minutes had passed. I should get back, she said reluctantly. Same time tomorrow? Alex asked hopefully. I'll be here, Sophia promised. For the next 2 months, heir coffee shop meetings became the highlight of Sophia's day. She found herself sharing things with Alex that she'd never told anyone. Her fears about the arranged marriage, her dreams of opening a free clinic, her loneliness in a city full of people. Alex, meanwhile, opened up about his struggles with family expectations, his passion for his work, and his own complicated relationship situation. She's a good person, Alex said one morning, stirring his coffee thoughtfully. But we're like 2 ships passing in the night. We barely see each other, and when we do, it's all surface level, Sophia finished. Exactly. Sometimes I wonder what it would be like to meet someone naturally, without all the complications. Sophia's heart clenched. She was falling for this man who didn't even know her real name, while she was married to a stranger she never saw. The charity gala was the first time Ethan and Sophia had appeared together in public in months. As business partners in their arranged marriage, they played their roles perfectly, smiling for photos, making small talk with investors, presenting the image of a united couple. You look beautiful tonight, Ethan said, as they posed for another photo, his hand resting lightly on her back. Thank you, Sophia replied, surprised by the genuine warmth in his voice. You clean up pretty well yourself. For a moment, their practiced facade felt almost real. Mr. Martinez, Mrs. Martinez, a photographer called. One more shot by the fountain? As they walked toward the fountain, Sophia's phone buzzed with a text from Alex. Hope your work event isn't too boring. Thinking of you. She smiled involuntarily, and Ethan noticed. Good news? He asked. Just a friend, Sophia said quickly, tucking her phone away. The evening progressed smoothly, until Sophia excused herself to the restroom. As she was washing her hands, she overheard 2 women talking in the lounge area. I heard the Martinez marriage is just for show, one was saying. My husband works with Ethan, and apparently he's been meeting someone regularly at that coffee shop downtown. Sophia's blood ran cold. Really? What's she like? Brunette, doctor apparently. Goes by Emma or something, very hush-hush. The world seemed to tilt sideways. Emma, her coffee shop nickname, the coffee shop near her hospital. Sophia rushed back to find Ethan, her mind racing. When she reached their table, he was checking his phone with a soft smile on his face, the same expression she'd been wearing when reading Alex's texts. Ethan, she said carefully, can I ask you something? Of course. Do you never go to the Grind? That coffee shop on 5th Street? His face went pale. Sophia, I can explain. The pieces clicked into place with devastating clarity. Alex. Ethan. The familiar brown eyes, the timing of his coffee breaks with her surgery schedule. You're Alex, she whispered. You're Emma, he said simultaneously. They stared at each other in shock. Months of intimate conversations suddenly recontextualized. The man she'd fallen for in the coffee shop was her own husband, the stranger she'd been avoiding. I need some air, Sophia said, standing abruptly. Sophia, wait. But she was already walking away, her mind reeling with the implications. Every confession she'd made to Alex about her marriage, every complaint about her absent husband, every moment of connection, it had all been with Ethan. Ethan followed her onto the terrace, where she stood with her back to him, gripping the railing. How long have you known? She asked, without turning around. I just figured it out when you mentioned the coffee shop. Sophia. All those conversations were about you, she finished. God, I'm so embarrassed. All those things I told you about feeling trapped, about my husband being a stranger. You weren't wrong, Ethan said quietly. I was a stranger. We both were. Sophia finally turned to face him. So what now? Do we pretend this never happened? Go back to our separate lives and awkward business dinners? I don't want to, Ethan admitted. These past months, getting to know Emma, getting to know you, It's been the best part of my day. But I wasn't really me with you. I was hiding behind a fake name, a false identity. Were you? Ethan stepped closer. Because the woman who told me about her dreams of helping underserved communities, who stayed up worrying about her patients, who laughed at terrible coffee shop music, that felt like the real you to me. Sophia's eyes filled with tears. I fell in love with Alex. But Alex doesn't exist. Alex is me, Sophia. Just me without all the complications we thought we had. 2 months after the gala revelation, Ethan and Sophia were trying to navigate their relationship, somewhere between strangers, friends, and something more. They'd started having dinner together once a week, slowly getting to know each other as themselves, rather than their coffee shop personas. But the weight of their arrangement still hung over them. Maya thinks I'm crazy, Sophia said as they walked through Central Park after dinner. She says I'm overcomplicating things. Marcus says the same thing, Ethan replied, referring to his best friend. But it's not that simple, is it? No, Sophia agreed. We fell for each other under false pretenses. How do we know if what we felt was real? Their weekly dinners continued, but there was a tension now, an awareness of each other that made everything feel charged and uncertain. They were dancing around their feelings, afraid to trust what had developed between Emma and Alex. Then Sophia started feeling sick. At first, she attributed it to stress and long hours at the hospital. But when the nausea persisted and she missed her period, she couldn't ignore the possibility anymore. She stared at the positive pregnancy test in her hospital office, her hands shaking. They'd been careful during their coffee shop meetings, but there had been that one night after the gala, when the revelation of their true identities had led to a moment of passion neither had fully acknowledged since. Her phone buzzed with a text from Ethan. "Dinner tonight? I have something important to tell you." Sophia's heart sank. The timing felt like a cruel joke. She texted back, "Can we rain check? Not feeling well." But Ethan was already outside the hospital, having decided to surprise her with flowers and the news that he'd been thinking about their relationship, that he wanted to try building something real, beyond their arrangement. He saw her leaving through a side exit, moving quickly toward the parking garage. Something about her body language seemed off, almost furtive. "Sophia," he called out. She froze, then slowly turned around. Even from a distance, he could see she'd been crying. "What's wrong?" he asked, approaching her carefully. "Nothing, I need to go home." "Sophia, talk to me. What happened?" She looked at him, really looked at him, and he could see she was struggling with something big. "I can't do this anymore, Ethan." "Do what?" "This, us, whatever this is. It's too complicated. We were supposed to keep things simple. Businesslike. 3 years and done." Ethan felt like she'd slapped him. "I thought we were past that. I thought after the coffee shop. After getting to know each other." "That's just it," Sophia interrupted. "We didn't get to know each other. We got to know versions of ourselves that don't really exist. And now what?" Sophia closed her eyes, gathering courage. "Now I'm pregnant." The words hung in the air between them. Ethan's expression cycled through shock, confusion, and something else Sophia couldn't read. "Pregnant," he repeated slowly. "I know this wasn't part of the plan. I know this complicates everything. But I wanted you to know before I figured out what to do next." Ethan's business training kicked in, the wrong response at the wrong time. "We'll need to discuss how this affects the merger terms. The families will want to know if this changes the 3-year timeline." Sophia's face crumpled. "The merger terms? That's your first thought?" "I didn't mean—" "Yes, you did." Sophia's voice was cold now. "This is all just business to you, isn't it? Even the baby is just another variable in your corporate equation." "That's not fair, Sophia. You caught me off guard." "Forget it," Sophia said, turning away. "I should have known better than to expect anything different from you." "Sophia, wait." But she was already walking away, and this time Ethan let her go. 3 weeks passed without a word between them. Ethan threw himself into work. But every coffee shop they passed, every hospital sign, every baby commercial on TV reminded him of what he'd lost. Marcus finally cornered him in his office. "You look terrible," Marcus said bluntly. "Thanks for the pep talk. I'm serious, man. When's the last time you slept, or ate something that wasn't from a vending machine?" Ethan gestured vaguely at the paperwork covering his desk. "The Beijing deal is falling through. The merger documentation needs revision, and you're an idiot." Ethan looked up sharply. "Excuse me? Your pregnant wife, told you she was carrying your child, and your first response was to talk about merger terms." It was a shock. I didn't handle it well. You didn't handle it at all. Marcus sat down across from him. Do you love her? Ethan started to give his usual deflection, then stopped. Yes, I love her. And what are you doing sitting here reorganizing paperwork? That evening, Ethan showed up at Sophia's apartment, with takeout from her favorite Thai restaurant, and a speech he'd been rehearsing all day. Maya answered the door. She doesn't want to see you, Maya said, but she didn't close the door. I know, but I need to try. She's been crying for 3 weeks straight. If you're here to make things worse. I'm here to fix things. If she'll let me. Maya studied his face for a long moment, then stepped aside. She's on the balcony. Ethan found Sophia curled up in a blanket on the small balcony, staring out at the city lights. She looked fragile in a way that made his chest ache. I brought pad thai, he said softly. I'm not hungry. Sophia, please look at me. She turned, and he could see the exhaustion in her eyes, the sadness he put there. I'm sorry, he said simply. I'm sorry for making you feel like our baby was just a business complication. I'm sorry for making you doubt how I feel about you. And I'm sorry it took me 3 weeks to figure out how to say this properly. Sophia didn't respond, but she didn't tell him to leave either. When you told me you were pregnant, Ethan continued, my first emotion wasn't worry about the business. It was joy. Pure, unexpected joy at the thought of creating a life with you. But then my brain kicked in, and I defaulted to what I know, contracts and contingencies and managing variables. He sat down across from her, careful to maintain distance. I've spent so much of my life treating relationships like business deals that I forgot how to just feel something without analyzing it to death. Ethan, let me finish, please. I love you, Sophia. Not Emma from the coffee shop, not Dr. Chen, the brilliant surgeon, not the wife from our arrangement. I love you, all of you, exactly as you are. And I want to build a real life with you if you'll have me. Sophia was quiet for a long time, processing his words. I'm scared, she finally said. Of what? Of trusting this. Of believing we can make something real out of something that started so artificially. What if we start over, Ethan suggested. Not as strangers this time, but as ourselves. Full transparency, no more hiding behind arrangements or coffee shop aliases. Sophia looked at him carefully. What would that look like? I don't know, Ethan admitted, but I'd like to find out, together. 6 months later, Sophia stood in the bathroom of their new shared apartment, staring at her reflection in the mirror. Her pregnancy was showing now, a gentle curve that Ethan loved to rest his hand on while they watched movies. You almost ready? Ethan called from the bedroom. The doctor's appointment is in 30 minutes. Almost, Sophia called back, smoothing down her dress. They were going to find out the baby's gender today. And despite all the complications that had brought them to this point, Sophia felt genuinely excited to share this moment with Ethan. Over the past few months, they'd been building something real. They'd started with coffee dates, at the Grind, their old meeting place. But as themselves this time, they'd progressed to dinners where they talked about everything from their childhoods to their dreams for the future. Ethan had surprised her by suggesting they visit the free clinic she'd always wanted to start, and had quietly begun working on a business plan to make it happen. Sophia had surprised him by showing genuine interest in his work, offering insights that helped him see his projects from new perspectives. Ready, Sophia announced, emerging from the bathroom. Ethan looked up from tying his shoes and smiled, the genuine, unguarded smile she'd fallen in love with at the coffee shop. Have I mentioned lately that you're beautiful? He said, standing to kiss her forehead. Only every day, Sophia replied, but she was smiling too. At the doctor's office, they sat holding hands as the ultrasound technician moved the wand over Sophia's belly. There's your baby, the technician said, pointing to the screen. Everything looks perfect. Can you tell what we're having? Ethan asked. Do you want to know? Sophia and Ethan looked at each other. They discussed this. Sophia wanted to know. Ethan preferred to wait, but he deferred to her preference. Yes, Sophia said. Congratulations, you're having a daughter. Ethan's eyes filled with tears as he squeezed Sophia's hand. A daughter. She's going to be brilliant like her mother, he whispered, leaning down to kiss Sophia's temple. And stubborn like her father, Sophia whispered back. After the appointment, they walked slowly through the park, both lost in thought about their impending parenthood. I've been thinking, Sophia said as they sat on a bench overlooking the pond. Dangerous territory, Ethan teased. I'm serious. About us, about this whole situation. Ethan's expression grew more serious. What about it? We have 6 months left on our arrangement. Technically, we could still walk away after the 3 years are up. Is that what you want? No, Sophia said quickly. That's not what I want at all. What I want is to make this real, completely real. What do you mean? Sophia turned to face him fully. I mean, I want us to get married again, for real this time. Not because of business arrangements or family expectations, but because we choose each other. Ethan stared at her for a moment, then started laughing. What's so funny? I've been carrying this around for 2 weeks, trying to figure out the right moment, he said, pulling a small velvet box from his jacket pocket. I was going to propose properly this time. Sophia's eyes widened. Ethan? Sophia Chen, he said, sliding off the bench to kneel in front of her. Will you marry me? Not because our families arranged it, not because of mergers or business deals, but because I can't imagine my life without you in it. Yes, Sophia said, tears streaming down her face. Yes, absolutely yes. As he slipped the ring on her finger, a simple solitaire, nothing like the elaborate wedding set from their arranged marriage, Sophia realized that sometimes the most unexpected journeys led to the most beautiful destinations. 3 years later, the sound of toddler laughter echoed through the house as 2-year-old Isabella Martinez Chen chased her father around the living room, both of them covered in finger paint. She's definitely your daughter, Sophia called from the kitchen, where she was trying to prepare dinner while balancing their 6-month-old son, Diego, on her hip. Hey, you're the one who suggested art time, Ethan protested, laughing as he tried to dodge a particularly enthusiastic splash of paint, scooping Isabella up and blowing a raspberry on her stomach, which sent her into fresh peals of laughter. Mama, Mama, look! Isabella held up her paint-covered hands proudly. Beautiful, sweetheart, Sophia said, walking over to admire the colorful mess. But let's get you cleaned up before Daddy gets paint on everything else in the house. As Ethan carried Isabella toward the bathroom for cleanup, Sophia's phone rang. She juggled Diego to answer it. Dr. Martinez, she said, having taken Ethan's name after their real wedding. Sophia, it's Maya. Are you sitting down? Should I be? The free clinic just got approved for the municipal health grant, full funding for 5 years. Sophia nearly dropped the phone. The clinic she and Ethan had been working to establish in an underserved part of the city had been her dream project for years. Are you serious? Dead serious. You did it, Sophia. You're going to be able to help so many people. After she hung up, Sophia found Ethan in the bathroom, patiently washing paint out of Isabella's hair while she played with bath toys. Good news? He asked, noting her expression. The best news, Sophia said, settling on the toilet seat with Diego still in her arms. The clinic got the grant. Ethan's face lit up. Sophia, that's incredible. We got the grant, Sophia corrected. None of this would have happened without your business plan and connections. Isabella looked up from her toys. What's a grant? It's something that helps Mommy help sick people feel better, Ethan explained, lifting her out of the tub and wrapping her in a towel. Like when Daddy brings soup when I have a stuffy nose? Exactly like that, sweetheart. Later that evening, after both children were asleep, Sophia and Ethan sat on their couch, her feet in his lap as he massaged them, a nightly ritual since her second pregnancy. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if we'd actually met at that first dinner? Sophia asked. Sometimes, Ethan admitted. But I think we needed the coffee shop. We needed to meet as ourselves, without all the pressure and expectations. Even if it was built on fake names and hidden identities. The names were fake, but everything else was real, Ethan said. Your dreams, your fears, your terrible jokes, that was all you. My jokes aren't terrible, Sophia protested. They're pretty terrible, Ethan said with a grin, leaning over to kiss her. But I love them anyway. Sophia curled up against his side, thinking about their journey from strangers to coffee shop friends, to reluctant spouses to genuine partners. I love our story, she said softly. Even the messy parts? Especially the messy parts. They make the ending better. Ethan tightened his arms around her. Who says this is the ending? I'm thinking of it more as the beginning. Outside their window, the city hummed with the lives of millions of people, each with their own stories of unexpected love and second chances. But inside their home, surrounded by the quiet sounds of their sleeping children and the steady beat of each other's hearts, Sophia and Ethan had found something they'd never expected when they signed those business contracts 5 years ago. They'd found home.